The Barclays Center in Brooklyn trembled with anticipation, a sea of flags waving in unison as Irish fans filled the arena with chants of "Frampton's on fire." Opposite them, proud Mexican-American supporters roared for their champion, Leo Santa Cruz. It wasn't just a fight. It was a clash of cultures, pride, and undefeated legacies. On one side, Carl Frampton, the Jackal, small in stature but fierce in spirit, having conquered super bantamweight and daring to step into featherweight waters against one of the most relentless pressure fighters in the game. On the other, Leo Santa Cruz, the reigning WBA featherweight king, known for his machine-like work rate, a man who could throw 100 punches around and never seemed to tire. When the introductions thundered through the speakers, the air was electric. Santa Cruz, calm and tall, stood in his corner, eyes unflinching, while Frampton bounced lightly, absorbing the atmosphere. The referee gave his final instructions. The fighters touched gloves, and the bell rang. From the first exchange, the tone was set. Santa Cruz pressed forward with long arms and sharp jabs, but Frampton wasn't intimidated. He stood his ground, countering with crisp hooks, making it clear he hadn't come to survive. He had come to dethrone a champion. The crowd erupted with every exchange, sensing immediately this would be something special, a battle where every punch mattered, every feint carried weight. By the second and third rounds, the momentum began to take shape. Frampton, moving with sharp head movement, found ways to slip inside Santa Cruz's rangy combinations. A thunderous left hook rattled the champion early, forcing Santa Cruz to reset. The Irishman's footwork was a thing of beauty, darting in and out, pivoting off the ropes, never staying still long enough to be overwhelmed. Santa Cruz responded with relentless body shots, digging hooks to the ribs, testing the smaller man's resolve. But Frampton was not only absorbing, he was answering with counters, punches thrown in the narrow spaces Santa Cruz left open. The exchanges became faster, louder, with both men refusing to yield ground. Santa Cruz's volume was there, but Frampton's accuracy shone, each shot carrying a sting that sent ripples through the crowd. Every time Leo thought he was cornering him, Carl would unleash a 2 or 3 punch counter that stopped him in his tracks. It was clear, this wasn't the same fight Santa Cruz had dominated against Maras. Frampton had come with a plan, and more importantly, with the confidence to execute it flawlessly. As the middle rounds unfolded, the fight grew into a war of attrition and brilliance. Frampton, though shorter and giving up reach, looked like the matador, making Santa Cruz miss wildly and punishing him in return. The crowd gasped as Carl timed a perfect counter right hand in the fourth, snapping Leo's head back. But Santa Cruz, the warrior that he was, refused to back off. He marched forward, pouring on combinations, throwing punches in torrents, even if half of them met gloves or air. His persistence was his weapon, forcing Frampton to expend energy every second. The exchanges in the 5th and 6th rounds had fans on their feet, roaring with every trade. Frampton would land a sharp hook to the body, followed by a straight right upstairs, and Santa Cruz would respond with a flurry of 5 or 6 punches, sometimes finding their mark, sometimes blocked, but always pushing the tempo. The battle was becoming as much mental as physical. Frampton had to remain disciplined, never letting the champion's storm break his rhythm, while Santa Cruz had to test the Irishman's ability to endure endless fire. Sweat flew with every clash, and by now, both fighters' faces bore the marks of war, redness around the eyes, swelling near the cheekbones. Neither man blinked. Neither man gave quarter. By the championship rounds, fatigue had begun to seep in, but the willpower of both men overshadowed exhaustion. Frampton dug deep, using every ounce of his timing and reflexes to outshine Santa Cruz's volume. In the 8th and 9th, his counters stole the show, clean, precise punches that the judges could not ignore. Santa Cruz, sensing the urgency, went back to his trademark aggression, hammering away at Frampton's body, trying to slow him down. Yet every time he surged forward, the Irishman responded with shots that echoed through the arena. especially a punishing right hand that stopped Leo mid-attack. The exchanges had become brutal, with both men trading like their lives depended on it, each sequence louder than the last. By the 10th round, the fight was already being hailed as an instant classic, the kind of battle that defines careers. Frampton's supporters chanted louder with every landed punch, what Santa Cruz's fans urged their champion forward. Both men, breathing heavy, shoulders heaving, continued to dig to the body and answer with counters. Each moment felt like it could swing the fight, each round razor thin, but Frampton's composure and cleaner work seemed to edge the narrative as the final moments approached. Then came the 12th round, the climax of an unforgettable battle. Both fighters, weary but unwilling to surrender, left everything in the ring. Santa Cruz unleashed his signature volume, throwing flurries in bunches, desperate to sway the judges. Frampton, battered but unbroken, stood his ground and fired back, countering with precision, meeting fire with fire. The crowd roared as the two warriors exchanged in the center of the ring, neither man stepping back, the sound of leather crashing against flesh echoing in the Barclays Center. The bell finally rang, and both fighters raised their hands, knowing they had given the world a masterpiece. The tension was unbearable as the scorecards were read aloud. 117 to 111, 116 to 112, 114 to 114. Majority decision. The Irish fans erupted in a thunderous wave of green and white as Carl, the Jackal Frampton, was declared the new WBA featherweight champion of the world. Santa Cruz, though defeated, had lost nothing in pride. His warrior's heart had been on display for 12 relentless rounds, but on that night in Brooklyn, it was Frampton's triumph, a legacy-sealing victory that proved his greatness, a fight forever remembered as one of the finest battles in